intro, and then we'll start talking.
All right.
So here we go. I'm ready to start in. We are live. Hi, everybody. This is Linda Marcus Smith, your girl, your girl, here on Facebook. Comic Spot. That's what it is, Comic Spot. This was started so that you could get to know comedians and a few entertainers off stage, on stage, what they've done, what they want to do. So you would know that you would love them and want to come to their shows, buy their merchandise, that kind of thing. It's to promote them. So today, before I introduce our amazing guest, who you'll get to know momentarily, I have to give a nod to my one and only paid sponsor, and that is ahabroadway.org. You know how to spell it. AHHA Broadway.org. They're in New York City. And if you've been looking to up your game in one of these three categories, that's how I do it. I've got arthritis. The three categories are stand-up, improv, and acting in one of these three targeted areas for children, seniors, and veterans. You can get one heck of a good amount of coaching that'll take you to another level from ahabroadway.org. Currently, the trainer for comedians is East Coast famous headliner Chris P. Murphy. Yeah. Woo. Prior to him, it was Vanessa Hollingshead, who had a Showtime special, and she made Women of a Certain Age a big hit with Fran Drescher. She trained me. Some of it wore off. I ain't gonna lie. I did what I could, to help Vanessa. So today, I have to tell you, I'm excited to bring you a delightful person who I just met on the other night. None of your business where. No, it was on a Zoom. Where else is it going to be? All I do is Zoom. You know me, I don't have a life. Anyway, let me introduce you to our guest. His name is Durrell Hearns, Hearns, but he goes by Durrell H. And I am Durrell H on Instagram, and who knows where else. We have to figure this out. So sit tight. And it doesn't matter if you're wearing pants. I don't know why people make a big deal of it. It doesn't matter. We don't need to know it, okay? Just stay there, tune in, don't tune out, and let's get to know, love, and support Durrell H. Hi, Durrell.
Hello.
Hi. It's so nice to have you here on Comic Spot. What's been going on? And what neck of the woods are you in?
I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
Not too far from Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
A few hours away.
Yeah, I did like a round trip drive one night for a show from Vegas, and it felt bad, like 10 hours back and forth. It was rough. All right.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's like in between the two is nothing but desert, and then some trees, and then desert again.
Oh my gosh.
Then casinos.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. These casinos are, like I have to wean myself away from a gambling addiction. I'm telling you, it's tough.
Yeah.
You have to walk by.
That.
What's that?
I said, I understand that. I mean, sure, you spend a lot of money.
You can. Oh my gosh. So, okay, well, I prepped you that we're going to go through your life systematically, one thing after another. Mm-hmm. But before I do that, I got to read the intro you sent me. It's really long. It's probably 20 words. Isn't that amazing?
Good of an intro.
One guy sent me an intro so long, I said, stay off screen until I'm done. I don't want you to see you rolling your eyes. Yes, I'm going to read it. You sent it to me. I'm reading it.
Oh, okay. I'm embarrassed.
No, yours is the perfect length. Okay, here's the intro that Durrell H. sent me. And I quote.
Uh-oh.
What? I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's see.
It's a chicken scratch. I don't know how I
I,
could type a chicken
I
scratch.
didn't know where to start because I don't practice. I like being in the moment and reading it for like the first time right here. And then I wasn't sure it was a preface. So, okay.
Thank you.
Durrell H says, I am an author and comedian originally from Virginia. I have 4 books available on Amazon. Was there anything else you wanted to say as your intro, or is that okay?
Stand-up comic in Phoenix, based out of Virginia. My books are Jottings of a Crazy Veteran. That's the newer one. This is my first book, the Lazy Man's Hustle. See, it's going in and out. You know what? I should turn this background off. The Lazy Man's Hustle. It's a green book. Let me turn this background off. Hope you don't mind.
Not at all. Do what you like. Do it.
All right. There we go. There we go. We turned it off. All right. The Lazy Man's Hustle. It's the book I have right here. It's my first book I wrote. It's about money management. Then Powerful is the book of Power Game. It's about having that powerful mindset and like getting through the low times in life. And the third one is Stand for Nothing or Else, A Coward's Theory. That's an ebook available on magcloud.com. Try to do an ebook, see what, people could get more access to it.
What's the third book about?
Stand for Nothing or Else, A Coward's Theory. It's about the study of cowardice. Like, it's really like the study and how it can stop us. It can make us fear our own success.
Wow, yes.
And that's a thing that is real. Some people can be scared of that positive change in their life. Like it happens.
Yes, absolutely. What's the 4th book? It's Jottings.
Yeah, Jottings of a Crazy Veteran.
And tell me about that.
That one is I basically categorized a few of my journal entries because I was dealing with mental health issues. But there was a lesson I learned in elementary school that crazy people don't know that they're crazy. So that's one of the earliest lessons. And basically, I had to go into I went to my journal and I saw where I was dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety, and all that. And that's in my book. In my journal. So I transport that to a book to try to help other people. That's always been my brand. It's been self-help because I love helping people, bringing value to them and helping them improve their life. My first book, after I sold the first 1,000, I gave the rest away for free because somebody told me as an independent author, selling that many books is good. Like the fact that you even got that much out there by yourself is actually good. That you did that. So
that's wonderful.
And that's my thing. That's my part. I'm always like, no, that doesn't mean anything. Most people have millions of books and millions, but they have publishers behind them. So it's totally different. So I didn't put it to scale my accomplishment, what happened. So that's one of those things.
Yeah. And where do people find your books?
They're Amazon. You can actually go into Barnes and Noble and like any other bookstore and just say, I want a copy of this book. They'll order it for you. So
fabulous. So have all your books been selling well, like the one that sold 1,000 copies before you gave more away?
Not as well, because after a while, I will admit, I let that accomplishment kind of go to my head. So I was like, okay, yeah, they're all going to do that instead of doing what I was doing before and like really pushing it. So basically what I've been doing with Jottings, that's almost in the running to get on that level of the first book, because I've been really putting my, promoting, putting it behind it, putting the links out, everything you're supposed to do as an author. And that's been doing almost as well. So that's it.
Okay, well, the next question it leads me into something I need to ask. If you're always writing self-help books, then what are the odds you are or are going to become a motivational speaker?
That's what I did before I started comedy, actually. I did a motivational speaking, but I noticed, okay, well, I was in the military, so I made staff. So usually we had to talk in front of people, in front of groups, all that kind of stuff. And I was speaking to an audience of people that want to get motivated, like a military motivator, not a motivator that has to tell good stories and really encapsulate the audience. So I was doing my motivational speaking like a briefing. So somebody actually fell asleep while I was talking. I was like, okay, I got to learn how to engage people. So that's when I got into stand-up comedy, talked about it, looked into it. And well, the stand-up comedy journey really started 2011. I tried a mic out once. So, but at the time I was like, I'm good enough. I got experience. I don't need to write anything. Ended up like getting 2 laughs and like bombing that night, I felt. So like, you did it, man. You got up there. I'm proud of you. So, that's like one day of comedy. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for the big leagues. Where's my special?
Exactly.
People can hear me talk for an hour. They're not gonna be entertained, but they can hear me talk. I'm that good. But yeah. So, but after, like I said, I published the book, I said, let me try it out again. And I went to it was a hookah lounge in Alexandria, Virginia. Shout out to my boy Travis. He used to host that. Yeah, one of my favorite comics. He was one of those like early on. Like I talked last night about mentors, like having important mentors. He's one of the early ones that told me, yeah, you just need the time, experience, and that's when you're gonna really start getting good. So I was like, all right. So because I was one of those, like I said, if I'm not ready, I might think I'm ready, and I'll be like, yeah, I'm already at the top. So you need people to humble you sometimes, So I'm like, I'm ready for it. So yeah, but that's when I got back into it.
What is Travis's last name?
Travis Spencer, I believe.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Way to go, Travis Spencer.
It was him and another dude named Will. Will, I think Thomas, I believe. So it was in DC. So they're the ones that really just told me, how to do comedy a little bit better. So that was really them. So yeah, and they're like 20-year-olds in comedy, 40-year-olds. So
wow.
And that's the thing I've noticed where I'm at now. You don't have that kind of experience. That kind of experience, you're like, what are you doing with my lady? I'm gonna mess you up for looking at my lady like that, doing it so horribly, young man. That's it. So yeah, man. But I'm sure eventually we're gonna have people at that level. So it's a good thing.
So how has your comedy career been going?
It's been fluctuating. Initially, like I said, I've just been personally, I'm all about the grind. So it's more about hitting the mics every week, getting out there, getting my stage time. And that's one of the early things, because I was on a cruise back in like 2017, I want to say. And cruises have stand-up comics on there, stuff like that. So that's how I knew it was a calling, because after this dude went up on stage, I'm like, hey man, how do you get into comedy? His exact words were, hit open mics. Hit nothing but. That's been a consistent between all three of all my mentors, not all three, all my mentors, hit open mics, get your stage time, and work that into different bits, and write. That's another one they tell you, write your butt off. So, right. And yeah, so that's really what started me. And that's really why that's been my philosophy ever since I started, was get that stage time, hit those mics, write every day, be consistent. There you go, and consistency. So
yeah,
and it's hard to be consistent on stage, because especially if you're always writing new jokes, because new jokes aren't ready. But if you're so it looks like you're bombing all the time if you keep doing something new every single time. So they're like, ooh, this guy kind of sucks. But yeah, it's just fluctuating. So, occasionally I'll get shows and all that. And I appreciate the people that book me for those. And, we always have a good time, always learn some stuff, and always meeting good people. And that's why I do comedy. It's, if I'm at that open mic and at least 3 people get affected with what I say, they laugh their butts off, or say, man, I felt like that too one day. That's what it's all about for me. So
I told a joke at a Vegas big show here. And one person in the back that was at the camera started laughing. And I should have said something like, "Thank you, camera number one," or whatever. Like,
that's good though. Yeah,
like
yeah.
the joke bombed, but the guy at the camera, he was, like he really got it. Like resonated. And he's probably shaking the camera, laughing.
So you made him get fired. That's how good the joke was. That's horrible.
Yeah, quite an effect on the men.
That's awesome.
So, what are your aspirations in comedy then?
Definitely to be successful at it, but I found out, and this is something that I kind of taught myself, but everybody broke down to me. But one of my gifts is I can like simplify, life lessons and life things, and that's why I have the books. And they're not big books, so I want to simplify it. Most books are like, this is all this. Then I'm just like, no, here, this is really the key word you want to get right here, context and everything. But yeah, I have to say so comedy doesn't have a finish line. There is no finish line to comedy. So that's my thing. So, I know people that have been doing, like I said, the 40-year-olds, these guys are still grinding daily and still hitting their mics and still doing their shows and stuff and getting booked big venues all the time, but still got their daily grind because comedy has no finish line. So my goal is, of course, eventually have a special. That's number one, so definitely have a special, couple albums, a successful podcast. And, I have the book. So, definitely probably write a comedy book eventually that does well. So
that'll be great.
Like a simplified comedy book, which, and it works for whoever it works for. But like I said, even comedy, it has its rules, but sometimes it doesn't have its rules. So, I've heard people that steal jokes. That's probably the number one rule. Don't steal jokes. That's rule number one. Don't you ever steal a joke in your life. But yeah. So yeah, probably specials and touring around the world doing comedy and getting paid well, getting paid for something that I would love to do for free, but we got to get compensated. So, so touring around the world and getting money for it. Doing comedy in different countries. Yes.
Different countries. Do you want to go entertain the troops?
Oh yes, I would love to do that. That's actually what inspired me. I have to say, years before the cruise, 2008, I want to say, I was stationed in Alaska and a USO tour came through, and I forgot the comedians. One was Gabriel Iglesias. Yeah, with the USO, and basically talking to him and like seeing how his personality was. Like, he's a funny dude, like all the time. I didn't know that's like the sacrifice of being a comedian. You almost always have to be funny, like, so that's the part. And he was a funny dude, especially after entertaining. He was still being social. It wasn't all right to entertain these people. Let me go to my hotel room and do all that, Yeah. And the fact that he was big then too. He was big then, and I'm like, he had been on like All That after a while, and I think other shows. He was very big then, and like the fact that he's willing to socialize and volunteer for the USO, that's a powerful thing, So I would love to do that. If I could do the USO, hit me up, guys. All right. Or even just troops.
You know who some of the bookers are for USO and Armed Forces Entertainment?
I wish. That'd be cool.
I'll send you names. I've interviewed a few of them.
Very awesome.
They've told me that they booked those shows, so I'll send those names along to you.
That's so awesome. Thank you, Miss Linda.
Absolutely. So that would be awesome. And then like, what kind of things do you do in comedy to give back, to reach back and help people younger in comedy than you?
I love giving pointers. I've been giving tags. And that's kind of what happened with my recent mentor. He basically told me my whole thing now was confidence. And that's because I had high anxiety, PTSD, depression, didn't even see my own self-worth. Like, it's like I was funny, but it's like I didn't see myself as funny. It's like, okay, thanks. I didn't get it either. So it was more of that, the confidence aspect of it. And that's kind of what I help build others, is that I can see where, this tag might help you, see where this might help you, and just helping others write and all that. And it was 2019. It's always been my thing. And that's been always like, I always want to help people express themselves, because creative expression is a powerful thing, because
sorry, go ahead. I'm interrupting you because I'm interested.
Go ahead. I mean, I love creative expression. So in 2019, I was hosting 3 different open mics weekly, 3 different weekly open mics. It was Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Just hosting 3 open mics by myself, no other host or nothing. Just hosted all 3 of them at once. And it was just, it was crazy. So the point of it all is, it was, but the reason behind doing all 3, most people do them for money and stuff. No, mine was to help people express themselves, that open expression, to allow you to say some stuff. And that really comes from me, like, being in the military. If you express yourself, you're wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
Complain too much, you're in the wrong, And I was there for 8 years, and I'm like, I don't want anybody else to go through that, holding on to that inner anger too much, So they finally, when that's the best thing to do, express it. Otherwise, you end up with a forehead like mine, because you're thinking about it so much. It just,
So I have a similar background as a human, in that I have anxiety, PTSD, depression. And so I don't see my self-worth. I make a joke about it, but it's because it's really true. I don't have any self-worth. I don't see my value, and I'm really trying to have a breakthrough. So you're a motivational person, so we can always help other people before we help ourselves. So go ahead, have a crack at helping me.
Helping you with self-worth. I mean, you have an awesome show right now. Like, you're hosting 2 great shows, and you're funny. That should be something that really means a lot. You give back. I don't know many Zoom shows that have a sponsor. You got a sponsor, and just your life in general. Your worth isn't in your accomplishments. You do a lot of things. You told me about a show you did, talking about you made a cameraman die laughing. That's so many levels, and I'm sure, and just you being here for so long, you have so much wisdom. So much stuff that you can give back, and even that peace of mind. And what helped me really with motivation is meditation, and looking back, reflecting on my life, and figuring out, I've done a lot of stuff, but there's sometimes anxiety will block out your accomplishments, even the traumas. But at a certain time, you got to deal with it. And that's the thing. And that's what the meditation breaks down a lot of. And, for me, I've been taking antidepressants too. So that kind of helps out with breaking those barriers. Because I also had head injuries. I don't think I ever told anybody this. Well, I've done it on stage. I got into a car accident.
Me too.
See, there's another part of it. So that's a head injury also. Anxiety, concussions, and just everything like that. And I got beat up by F-16 in my, when I was 20. Yeah, I got a whole scar right here. I think it's
wow.
Yeah, man, still there. So just a whole slat just set on top of my head and cut me open. And this is how I knew I was a little. I don't know if I can say it. This is a clean show.
Yeah.
Okay, I was a little bit of a bad
bad A.
Bad A, because I was bleeding out of my head, blood coming down my eyes, everything just coming down. But I still finished the job, got back in the truck. Then somebody else just had to tell me, you got blood all over you.
Wow.
Type stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. Do I have to go to the hospital now? So yeah, probably eventually turn that into a joke, because that is pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I got hit by a drunk driver in 96.
Oh
and,
no.
and it took a team of 3 neuropsych doctors. It took 3 neuropsychs 2 years to diagnose one teeny brain injury. So
Okay.
I wonder which one of us 4 had the brain injury. I don't know that it was me, because like I knew instantly upon impact I had a brain injury. Like I was wonky, you know.
Wow. Yeah,
You
see?
kind of know something was wrong right away.
A little bit. And that's the part. It was after like I don't think I noticed mine till like years later. Cause you know, like I said, I don't know if you remember the bit yesterday where I talked about with head injuries. They
Yeah.
make you like impulsive, aka dumb. So
I love that.
yeah, then like my stutter even came back. So I'm like, okay, so stuff that I had broke down decades ago even came back, and I was like, all right, so we got to do something about this eventually. So I even went to a speech therapist, and she's like, you don't have a stutter. It's more of a, you know, do you have like a head injury or something you went through? I said, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that helps, you know, ends with focusing and all that stuff. And yeah, and like the fact that, like you said, you got into a car accident. You said a drunk driver,
Yeah, he was
and
drunk and he had like 7 chicks in the van with him. They were all drunk.
and you,
Have you heard people like when you tell them you had brain injury or head trauma, everybody says, "What happened? How did it
uh-huh.
how did you get it?" Everybody gets it the exact same way, like this.
Yep,
It's like that's the dumbest question to ask somebody. Even
exactly,
the people with brain injuries know you're asking a stupid question.
right. That's it. That's the part. That, you know, some a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's just like in
Oh,
the end, the brain is just moving around in juice in your
yes.
head. So that's all it's doing.
Yeah. It's like if you took a baby and put the baby in the bath water and then went outside and shook the apartment.
Mhm.
Not really that funny, but you get the picture.
It's true. It's true. If you shook the whole apartment
From the
and the
outside.
bathtub from the outside, and the baby just pow, 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 all over the place.
Nobody wants to laugh about a baby in a bathtub alone. I don't get it.
All right. So if we put a puppy in a bathtub, let me stop.
Your wife, you know, your husband,
I put my wife in the bathtub.
your grandmother in a coma. I don't know. People are so judgy.
Or if I put my mother-in-law in the bathtub, there you go. That's one would sell. That's one would go. There you go.
Now you got a joke.
There you go.
What is something crazy that has happened in your comedy career or your personal life that you just like, I can't believe that is so weird or so crazy that it happened, but it happened.
Right. The craziest thing was just personal life was getting shot and not having to go all the way through. I know that's your and Liz's favorite joke when I say getting shot in the leg singing karaoke, but yeah, it happened. It hurt, man. My body hurt.
I love that joke. Oh my God.
But yeah, it didn't go all the way through. So that was one of my interesting comedy wise was actually getting into a fist fight in DC. Like I said, them guys don't play. So what's that? You're freezing on my side. Uh oh. All right. So I gotta come back in.